Hello there, my name is Michael Maynard and welcome back to Gorilla Picking. Now, what we are going to do today, folks, is review and pick a very good and very important lock. So this is a thing called the Mul-T-Lock Classic Pro. You'll see it says Classic Pro there. And this is an important lock because it is Mul-T-Lock's attempt at extending the life, extending the patent for the good old Mul-T-Lock Classic. Now, you need to know a bit of background here, guys. The Mul-T-Lock Classic has been around for about 30 years and it has long since gone out of patent. So anybody can maintain it, anybody can cut keys for it, anybody can manufacture key blanks for it, and it's really not the most secure lock in the world anymore. Now, what Mul-T-Lock did, they did something very, very smart. They went to their locksmiths and they said, okay lads, we are going to give you an update on the Classic. We're going to call it the Classic Pro, and you can cut keys for it with all your old gear, so you don't have to buy new key cutting machines, which for the locksmiths of course is a massive expense. But what you do have to do is use these new Classic Pro blanks. Now if I just zoom in on this key, you can't really see the difference between the Classic and the Classic Pro unless you look at this little area here where this little asterisk is. Now the Classic Pro has one or more special pins in a special location in the lock. So it can be any one of the chambers. I'll show you about that in a minute. And in this particular one's case, it's chamber 3. And when you get this key blank, it is actually milled with a slot here, a sort of a longitudinal slot, so that a standard pin, particularly a standard inner, won't fit into it if you don't have that slot. So if you tried to make a key for this lock using the old Classic ones, which are out of patent, right, which anybody can get a hold of, because we've got this weird shaped pin in position 3 in the case of this lock, the thing just won't work. So they did a very good thing there. They extended the patent life of the lock, but without costing their locksmiths, who are the guys that have got to be in the trenches selling this thing, without costing them a lot of money. Really good idea. So let's have a talk about that pin. So this is really where this lock gets its mojo. So the first thing I want to show you is that the cores have a little extra notch drilled in each of their chambers. So you'll see that this looks for all the world like a standard Mul-T-Lock Classic, except that we've got a little notch here and here, and I can't even see it in this light, here and here and here. And what that does is it positions a non-rotatable pin. So ordinary round pins are rotatable obviously, but the one that fits in this special chamber number 3 isn't. So if I grab that pin now, you will see that it is a bit of an odd shape. It looks pretty standard on the top, but it looks completely different on the bottom. It's got a slot cut in there, and there is a little locating lug. There's a little lug just there on the side of the pin that tells us what orientation it needs to be. So this is so the axis of the pin is this way. You can't put it in sideways like that. So let's just do that. Let's put it in any old how. Let's put it in sideways, and you can see that it doesn't drop down into the core properly. If on the other hand we rotate it round so that it's in the correct spot, like so, when I ever get it round there, you can see that it drops down in. So it's got to be in the right position, and of course its corresponding inner is a funny shape as well. Surprise, surprise. So a standard Mul-T-Lock inner looks like that. You've seen those a million times before. Here is the special one. Again, it's flat so that it fits into that milled slot in the key. Very, very, very smart. Now, Unfortunately, it is not a difficult lock to pick, and that's why I am calling this a low security lock, maybe medium at the absolute best, but that is being a little bit generous in all honesty. Now, the pinning on this is really interesting. You will see when I pick this in a minute that it actually picks like the pins are all standards. So it does in fact have a couple of spools, but the spools don't engage for some reason. So we've got 2 spools, 3 standards. We have got this split pin here, that is a split D, so that is an anti-bump device. And we have also got this torpedo shaped key pin up the top here, which is another anti-bump device as well. I've never seen one of these come into play when picking them. In theory, if you overset that, you could go into a deep false set that you can never get back out of, but I've never done that, and I don't know anybody that has either. So the pinning isn't really that complicated, and you'll see in a minute that it picks very easily. Now, the only other thing that I discovered, and I discovered in fact after I had picked this and pulled it apart, because I'd never pulled this apart until I shot this video. I discovered in fact that it's got an internal and an external section. So I pulled apart this side of the lock first, and I was a bit surprised to discover that there was no anti-drill protection in these 2 holes. So the holes are there, but the drill protection's not there, which I thought was bloody odd, frankly. And then I looked, once I picked it, I got this side apart and discovered that it has in fact 3 anti-drill bars there. You'll see that this one has only got room for 2, interestingly, and we've got a couple of other bits of anti-drill protection down here, and a captive ball bearing down there as well. So there is actually plenty of anti-drill protection in this lock, which I think is bloody good. The other thing we've got is that Mul-T-Lock is finally putting some anti-snap protection on their Euros. So we have got these anti-snap bars that go across the top as well. So in terms of anti-bump, anti-drill and anti-snap protection, this is actually a pretty good lock. It's, like I said, it's not that good against picking attacks, but against the 3 major routes of entry, it's actually pretty damn good. So the acid test really is, would I choose this on my door? And the answer is yes, I would actually. So it is good for low security applications only. I would not trust it in a high security application, but because it is tried and true technology, because this has been around for 3 or 4 decades, with the addition of this extra little doodah on the key, it's a very well understood lock that is going to give you very good service, and under those circumstances, yes, I think this is worth using. It is set up for key control, and it is set up for master keying as well. So you can master key any multi-lock system with varying degrees of success, but you'll see that we have got the chambers on the side for the passive pins for key control here as well, so you can do some fairly flexible things with master keying on this lock, and I think this is a winner, I really do. So that's part 1. Now the next thing we're going to do is pick this thing, guys, so I will cut the video here, and then the next bit will be the pick. Back in a sec. Okay folks, well we're clamped up and ready to go, so I have left that cam on the back there, and there's the circlip on the back there as well. The key works as the key should, quite obviously. So let's get a bit of tension on there. Now the keyway is actually a little bit deceptive. It's a little bit narrower than I thought. So you can't in fact get the fat end of a Z bar in there. You need to get the skinny end of a Z bar in there, and I thought that was quite interesting. So it is a wee bit deceptive and a wee bit harder than you think. Now I am using a Spooks tool dimple right, best pick on the market for multi-locks, of course. And okay, got a little click on 4, little click on 2, another click on 4. Now it's very, very easy to get your pick stuck in there. So the pick actually jams really badly on, it jams really badly on that, that Pro pin. I don't know why actually. So I just got a big click on 3. I thought in actual fact I had my pick stuck there. Okay, so we've just dropped into a little bit of a false set, so that tells us that we've got all the outer pins picked. We are now looking for inners. 5 is binding, just got to click on 5, just got to click on 4 on the way out. 3's binding. Now I do need to be careful here. Okay, click, and a little bit of a deeper false set there. Now we're just here we go. That's 3 again, I think. Oh, okay, right. I'm worried that I'm going to overset that. Got a little click on 5 again. Now, my binders have dried up a little bit here. So I need to now be pretty careful. Ah, 4, there it is. Had to just overset 4 a little bit. So now we need to get back whatever it was that we overset in getting that. We're just about done now really. That's 1. Cool. Okay, so now we're back to the false set that we had previously. There's only going to be another couple of inners left to go now. And I'm just having a little bit of a stab around to try and find them without getting my pick stuck. That's the thing that I'm really most worried about here, just quietly. It's not 1. It's not 2. It might be 3. It was definitely 5. Okay, really deep false set now. I think probably just 1 to go would be my guess. All we got to do is find it. Is it 5? No. Is it 4? No. It was 3. Okay, so open. Yeah, not difficult. I was just being a bit tentative there, just because I didn't want to get my pick stuck. So let's keep this in shot, pull it apart, and show you what really was in there. Okay, so there you have it, guys. Again, really not a difficult lock to pick. All of those pins, interestingly enough, actually, set just like standards. So yeah, I know there's a couple of spools in there, but I didn't see any counter rotation there, and I'm not sure you guys did either. So it was interesting that it was as easy to beat as it was, really. Again, here is the Pro pin, this weird non-symmetrical kind of thing, and as you can see, it fits into chamber 3, which corresponds with this unusual shaped groove on the key. That's the real trick to this. So there you go, guys. I do like this lock. It's an easy beat in terms of picking, so low picking protection, but it has got good anti-snap protection, good anti-bump protection, and good anti-drill protection. It's flexible in terms of master keying, and there will be a lot of different profiles available for different geographical areas for this as well. So it is a good basic bottom of the range offering from Mul-T-Lock, and I personally think they've done a bloody good job. So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate you being along for the journey here. Please leave some comments below. I'd love to hear what you think about this thing. My name's Michael Maynard, and that is the Mul-T-Lock Classic Pro. Thanks, guys.